You're the wrong way.
That's
Did I look at the wrong day? Or yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday.
The audio's too low.
Thank you. This is the annual meeting of, and this time we're going to record it for those folks, those members who weren't able to show up. We're over 700 members of the IASFA, which is the International Association of Science Fiction and Fantasy Authors. I started this group. We had the first conversation about it at 20Books 2018. First conversation, we started it in 2019 at the 20Books event. And oh man, another one got carried away. Oh my God.
Scared away, Craig.
I don't call them. I wanted an alternative to a professional organization that was focused on helping us sell books, not about awards. There will never be an award for IASFA, not a best book novel, not any of that, because I found that those are toxic and have a tendency to degenerate and create rifts between people. The only person who really matters is the reader. Readers vote with their money. So the winners are those folks who can, if they want to, lead up to being a full-time author and make a living as a full-time author. Those are the winners, if that's what they want. Other winners, people who have day jobs because they like it and write books. And oh, by the way, we take a nice vacation each year on our royalties. I love to talk with my royalties when I first started this because I hit fairly quickly. And that was neat to pay after a truck. So that's the win. Nothing you can forward. And it's nice to get the bestseller tags as rank is cool and rank is an indicator of visibility, which visibility is a way to sell more books. So all of those are good things. And those are conversations that we want to have in the IASFA. This year, we had promotions. We have over 6,000 people on our newsletter list and highly, highly focused newsletter list. We have a high open rate, we have a high click rate. And that list is exclusively for IASFA promos. We run those promos each month. We have a free promo this year. Come January, it's going to be free and 99 cents. Just because I'm trying to get away from free. Those people who pull free. However, on a highly targeted list like the IASFA maintains, we get a good click-through rate. People pick up the free book, but they pick it up to read it. They don't pick it up as freebie seekers because these are science fiction and fantasy readers. We found that SFR absolutely did not work for our list, and we lost a whole bunch when we ran SFR promo. So we told science fiction romance authors that you can join, but we're not running promos for you because that costs us readers, and we gain no new readers. When we ran that one promo, that costs us a lot. So we learned quickly. We learned multiple negative reinforcement stops behaviors. That's why we get spanked and we get stop doing that. All get spanked from the science fiction romance promo. So we fantasy, urban fantasy, and science fiction, of course. And highly focused. So that's what we're doing. We also, each month, we run a new release promo. And some of the other pro boards, what you found is that it was like traditional publishing timelines. Okay, your new release for March, you need to submit that by October. Okay, we're indies. I can't tell you what my new release for October is going to be, or March next year. But this month, I can tell you what my new releases are. So why can't we just shorten that timeline? Why does it take so long to build a newsletter and put that in there? I tell you what, it doesn't. We have everything automated on our system where you can sign up. The next promo runs 19 to 24. It's for free books, free urban fantasy. But at the bottom of it, the bottom of our newsletter is new releases. And there's also a section of the website for new releases. So I submitted 3 because I had 3 within the last month. $5 is all it costs. And they're at the bottom. And we have good clicks on those people looking for books. And for $5, how many do you really need to sell to get your money? They are not. They're whatever's new in the last month. So the top will be themed with whatever's free in that for next month. For Monday, it's already there. For 19th, it's Saturday. It's good. You do what you love and never was a day in your life, right? Wrong. You work every day.
It's not loud enough. You're saying this.
So, Saturday, only 2 more days per month. So the IASFA, we have a website that is not quite self-sustaining yet because we need more new releases to pay for it. And you know, not just pay for it. There are no dues to join the IASFA. I just had that covered. It's not. It's only, our website is only 150 a month. But we were hoping that we would get about 20 new releases each month, and that would offset and that would cover the code costs. Last month we had 9, this month we had at least 9. I don't have any urban fantasy type, so in the time of the newsletter. Yeah.
Greg, with the new releases, is there a way that we can email you those, or maybe those are the sort of publisher feed information to you?
You submit it on the website. You can submit it directly. And for your main title, you would put that in there directly. Because you don't have to have the publisher ship. But you can submit that. That's easy. And it's all automated on forms, and there's drop downs. You've got to do it because otherwise A. Lambert will get every book. Yeah, did you do that? Because that's the first one on the drop down, A. Lambert. So if people aren't paying attention, it goes to her. Yeah.
Anything else we could be doing to help the group? Is there anything else we can be doing to help the overall group?
That is one of the main topics I want to talk about today, is IASFA. I've been trying to manage it all, and that we need to set up volunteer groups, like the urban fantasy volunteer group, just to make sure people know about the message of hey, here's the urban fantasy promotions for the year. So something I need to do over the next couple of weeks is just figure out which promos are running when, and have like groups shepherd those titles for the promotions, for the new releases, and subgroups. Urban fantasy is not my genre. Fantasy is not my genre. All flavors of science fiction, those are fine. But Julia, you're here, aren't you? Yeah. Julia has been managing the newsletter, doing that first step, and putting that newsletter together. And it would help if subgroups that were focused on that genre were doing it and helping us put together a media package and helping us get that word out. And then groups would, like a subgroup of newsletter builders, like, hey, what's it? I run ads, so I guess our costs are more than $100 a month. I probably run $500 a month on ads, list building ads on Facebook. Like, hey, let's put a group together for that. People want to dabble with my money, spending Facebook, building Facebook ads. So there's all kinds of opportunities. But getting those teams together to do that. I have no intention of incorporating to become like a 501c3 to have tax deductible, because right now we don't maintain any money, we don't maintain any cash, and also I don't have to submit anything to the IRS for that, just I put on my schedule C for those costs. But if I have a file, and I have a lawyer, I have organized and gotten a 501c3 certified from the ground up. It took 2 years. And it's okay, and then you get tax deductible donations, that's cool. But now you're under the microscope, and everything you do is public. It should be okay, I tell people what it is, that's not tell the IRS. They may, but not for the organization, because that's the way you can tank an organization, is if you get your paperwork.
If all the new release slots are something considered opening up some of the promotion slot, then like maybe books that are being like, for example, I've had group fantasy release coming for several months, but I actually promoting the person series, paying the fee.
Well, the new releases are not themed.
Right.
Because urban fantasy, I have to have an urban fantasy new release in November. No, because my 3 new releases are all time special. But they'll be in that because it's the same reach. So we don't need themed new releases, but you can put a new release in that. But for a first book promotion this year, to get it in there, you have to put it for free. And then you'll see that
Whatever people pay, and we're not selling the paid slots for new releases.
And we're not doing that yet. So if you, once we get the schedule published for next year, you can align your promotions and then stack promos. So yes, you'll have the IASFA. Nice bump. You might get 50, 100 buys off that newsletter on a new book, especially first in series, 99 cents. You could, it's a nice bump because you pay a lot more than nothing to get that. So you could align it once you know, okay, this date, it's military sci-fi, that's March. Yes.
So for working groups, one thing that I'm actually really good at is setting up Discord or Slack, either all the channels, all the permissions, getting rid of bots, all that. If y'all are up for it, I'm happy to fire one up around this, and then we can start organizing more, because I think it's a great idea to really get this out there.
Thank you. So we need to identify what those groups did. Initially, I think that urban fantasy stuff has science fiction and fantasy, but the supporting groups, like what is the list builder team, and ask people to come and volunteer there. So I'm show for the list building team. And yes, you can spend my money on Facebook ads. We have 5 books. America is one of the 5. That is a variety of genres that they get for free when they join our list. So we have the promo-free books that are available through the website that just links into the download choice. So they have free books, but highly targeted. Right now, one that's through my offer page, which is once again highly targeted followers, people who look just like my followers. So we've got good ascension. So that team, and what other teams would we need? This list building is key. Followers, and every time we run a promotion or anything, you get more and more sales right out of the chute. And so you stack things around those, you're making your own money.
Would it make sense to have more subgroups, perhaps? For example, military sci-fi versus cooking and so on? Or?
I think for span of control, I like to rule of 3. So for me, 3 is sci-fi, fantasy, and urban fantasy. The bigger genre, the big capture. And even though we might want a subgenre, next one is space opera. This is the subgenre, but that's still, if you're at sci-fi, you'll understand space opera enough to solicit those authors to participate and help onshore and put together a nice media kit and support. It's just that the challenge is to make sure you get space opera author, middle sci-fi author, and still be post-apoc author or sci-fi panel as a board or a team. Let's see those kinds of things with RPG. Is different and good. Just trying to do right by the pros, by the professionals. That's the whole purpose of the IASFA, is to help people sell more books. We run the promos, but one thing that we haven't had enough time for is talking about things like ads and marketing. What about categories? What's the new gouge? And as everybody knows, an ounce of gouge is worth a pound of knowledge. So what's the new gouge on categories for your books? You get 3. You can only rank in 3. And now, Amazon will try to pick the 3. For you to pick them, you have to send a note to Amazon and have them remove the book from all the categories. And that might be the ones you selected when you uploaded. Remove it from all these categories and put it in these 3. And that hedges your bet to get it in those 3. And by ranking, what we mean is that you can get an orange banner, the bestseller if you're number 1, or you could be number 17 and get the bestseller banner if the first 16, the top 3 categories are other categories. What they're trying to do, what Amazon's trying to do that we guess, is keep folks like Stephen King, J.D. Robb from being number 1 in 15 different categories and giving more people the opportunity for visibility. They have determined that a bestseller tag is good for visibility. And that's why they made it that perfect orange that catches as many eyeballs as possible whether the color one or not. So that's why they spent a lot of money figuring out that orange. For visibility, said bestseller, and we put that in another one we released 3 categories. So that's new. That's new over the last month or 2. So you can rank, but it's not just a tag. Even though it might show in the top listing, it won't rank within they put it in front of others. Yeah, that may not matter if your book is a 50,000 rank book, but it does. It does because you compete in the right categories. It also means that SFR, because new SFR title come out, they sell well, and but it's number 1 in galactic colonization and alien space marines, space opera, no sci-fi, alien contact. Yeah. and then they're in front of you, and it's like your readers are never going to pick up that title. Because if you don't have SFR readers, well, they're looking at that. So that it's Amazon's way of trying to clear up the issue with being in the wrong category, where people are category bombing, trying to get one that's not as competitive to absorb all the number 1 slots, all the top slots. Amazon working on stuff that this is usually conversations we need to have with the IASFA to help people understand how this better sell your books. What are the priorities talking about that kind of stuff, about the ranking and how it helps you sell your books. No words. Takes your mind off the focus of selling books. Interesting stuff. No matter how many you sell, I would describe it. Does everybody have a planner? Big planner? Did anybody pick up one of those planners from Lulu? The 20 Those were so cool. You know who didn't get a planner? The 20Books 50K planner from Lulu? How far do you plan your work? How far out? A year. You stick to that? But a year is a good time frame. And that's, for us, we try to get promotions out for a year in advance. If you're arranging, if you're stacking ads, stacking promotions, book barbarian, especially science fiction, book barbarian is your biggest bang for the buck. Shelf space is also a biggest bang for the buck. The shelf space is invited window. That's one of the elements. It's a custom list. We have 30,000 names on our list. Yeah.
Book revenues for 3 weeks.
What's that?
Book revenues for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yes, typically for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll probably 3 books. But there are opportunities on the book barbarian. To get a book barbarian, you need 2 or 3 months in advance. So planning is important to stay in front of stacking ads. Little babies. I don't mind. Does it Yeah. It's okay. It's possible. What's that? Yes.
There been any more thought about maybe doing audiobook promotions?
Audiobook promotions. I wish I knew better how to sell audiobooks. I only have 70 or 80 titles in audiobook. And I'm embarrassed to say that what my sales are, except for the one that I got an Audible deal of the day. Holy crap. That book got me number 4 overall on the case. Next to an Audible deal of the day. Yeah. How do you get it? It's really tangible and they submitted it. Each distributor submits a little package of possible titles, and Audible, one guy sitting in a dark room, it just randomly, it's not automatic, it's just one dude, like you got another guy. There's one guy and he picks titles just randomly. Now, that book had over 2,000 reviews, so it's obviously it's a good book. So that's, and I saw that trend, looking at the Audible deals of the day. I was really looking for books pretty healthy. 2,000 reviews, so it's kind of limited, a minimal bottom line. Getting really long. Yes, sir.
It's related to the Audible question. Is it true that you have all the, check boxes, so to speak, on Amazon that you can different versus only having an ebook and print version?
I don't know. And the question was if you have all of the formats, does it get more traction? It's more professional if you have paperback, hardback, audio, and like an audio CD. You have 5. I mean, the formats go off the screen to the right. That's cool. So doing the audio, we haven't yet, but we will. We will. Because audiobooks are, you can't really put them on sale, but you can promote it and try to get that credit. Yeah, because otherwise you're competing on a blank slate. When somebody's looking for where do I invest my credit? And I see that a lot in science fiction groups. Hey, I've got 5 credits, and I'm going to cancel mine and close my account. What should I listen to? Okay. And people will jump in and want to go, I will. Be more proactive on that and say, hey, here's this. Maybe each month, thematically, we could say, hey, here's the books that are available in audio. Here's the best buys for audio. Which at this show, I sold 3 books to promote. But they're single books, but the short one is 15 hours. So 15 hours for the first one, 17 hours for the second one. So it's good chunk of books. Almost like good RPG. How long is yours, James? The one that publishes tomorrow? Your RPG? 167,000.
74.
Nice. Good. That's right. So absolutely. And that might be a limit. Books that are over 14 hours. 14 is the magical number for where people consider, yes, I can spend a credit on that. It's worth a credit. Because what do they pay? $15.99 a month?
It's more like 20 hours for the
Depends on audio, the audio. Okay. But like I said, 70 or 80 titles, I know absolute zero on audiobooks. It's one of those things, just make it available. But yeah, what's a good investment? And yeah, magical number, according to the pros, is 14 hours, anything over 14. Brandon Sanderson's 45 hours, you see people do bundles. And I've done that as well, I've got a lot of bundles. Because those are my mails, because you get the credits. But if they use a credit, if they want the ebook and then buy the audiobook for the $7.49 they put on sale, you get royalties goes up at $7.49. So your 40% is actually $3 or $4. Because you saw people complaining that, oh, the royalties are only $4. It's $14.99 for your math wrong. They're selling it for $7.49 and you're getting 40% off that. So you get $3.50, $4. That's where it's actually 60. But those are good conversations. Those are good conversations for a group, for the pro group to keep on sales. That's not going to be capturing this in terms of minutes. Or capturing minutes.
Hey, Craig?
That's good people.
Yeah. I joined the organization last year, and I don't think I've ever seen an email. Has there been emails going out at all, or?
There might be another shortcoming. We send emails to our list of subs, but we rarely send emails to our members. And that's something that we should recognize.
Yeah, because
That could be another committee. Newsletters to the members. And just informative. I mean, and that should be my responsibility to make sure, hey, here's what's going on in the business this month. Because I mean, I'm in a position where I hear a lot. I have my finger on the pulse of everything that's going on, like categories and stuff like that. And book club, now book club is opening up and you're getting more on exclusive, Amazon exclusive titles. People are getting, it's still hard to get, but more and more. They really like the box sets for 99 cents for a book club feature.
Just, even if you just like what we promise off of the email.
Yes, I do get that out before next
I
year.
often miss the Facebook post and after them in group.
Yeah. And that's something we should email. You would think, right?
There you have it.
Yeah. But email that out to the members, that could be the first information kind of email that we send to all of our members. We got it. You signed up. You didn't pay it, still it's. We got your email. But that could be maybe as well. Because we've got to translate that sign up into a list. So as we get new people that can transfer over this certain manual interface.
Can I volunteer Ben Wilson for that?
I'm looking at you. Now, and that's with the right amount of people doing the right stuff. If you volunteer to help, it would be 30 minutes a month, kind of thing, might be an hour, and that kind of thing can go an awful long ways. Because me trying to do it all, I don't have an hour. And I mean, because I'm already spending maybe 4 or 5 hours total on IASFA each month. And this meeting is me asking for help and soliciting, and it can start with an email. By the way, there's promotions for next year. We're going to do free 99 cents on these topics on these days. Here's how to submit for a new release. And oh, by the way, there's some committees that would be great for some people to volunteer and help us out. Not hard, just good.
Not that much work to do.
Well, and also, not everybody's on Facebook. So a message on Facebook, a message on the blog, on the website, is seen by a fraction.
If you
And
go
the
there.
email actually goes right to everybody. Yes, sir.
So since Craig made me stand up for tribute, if you need help, you know, I'll volunteer. Craig, not Craig, just this guy, Jim. It's been a long day. Yeah, so I stand for tribute.
I'm Craig, not Craig.
Okay. Craig, not Craig, yeah. That other guy. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks for giving Terry your name.
Will do.
So, didn't capture that. Appreciate that. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah. Terry, your name?
That's all right, I've been there. That's what I said.
Any other questions? Any questions on topics?
What is the flight speed of a fall?
Do we have a presence of Dragon Con? No, because Dragon Con gives me the willies. There's so many people. There's so many people. I went to one, and it was like that episode of Star Trek, right, where they conned Kirk and they're beaming to something that he just thought he was on his own ship in order to give disease and kill the population. Kind of dark. But you see all those people outside in their own home, that's Dragon Con. I mean, yeah, but it's great. You got to stand off the side and hope that you can find a place to eat.
Expensive.
And it's did a little bit of Gen Con, expensive. Oh, yeah. But a Dragon Con, like that, do we need presence? Do we need that outreach? And maybe we get a table with some representatives and all that's on there. What are the shows where if somebody has a table, you put a separate QR code to sign saying, think about joining the IASFA to buy free books, science fiction magazine.
Smallest giver.
What's that?
The smallest giver you get to give is more than $400.
Oh, in both, well, Dragon Con, but I'm talking Liberty Con, I'm talking FenCon, I'm talking
Hey, Craig,
Precipice Con. Yeah.
there are a lot of little small cons that if enough people around in here are scattered around the U.S. could volunteer to actually man a table for a day or so.
And that is what I'm talking about. That's a good point, good conversation. Just put that sign out there, because there's science fiction readers everywhere. I grew up in Iowa, for Pete's sake. And science fiction is quite a red, because
Well, you were in Iowa.
The Farmer's Almanac like was kind of cool. I thought it was really hot.
I love to read with good writers. We love this discussion. Everyone in science fiction.
You bet. Oh, yeah. Science fiction is growing. You grab Uber, audiobooks, you give them out. Absolutely, absolutely. But all these cons, why not? A QR code for IASFA, they've got a really cool logo because they're putting it back out there.
I haven't gotten one this year.
Are we
We haven't
going
been
to
back.
the
Me. I didn't get one this year.
Oh, yeah, and you want
I
to
forgot. I can't find mine from last year.
Yeah, it's the same one, so.
Yeah.
Ooh, crack bag. Here, I'm gonna give you two. Pass one to the person next to you. Anybody else?
When I was a cop, this whole I crack That's why I think crack bags.
I'm just holding hand for the pen. I'm going to volunteer Craig for stuff.
Craig, not Craig.
Craig, not
The name is Pete. James Pete. 005. Ooh, 2 stabbies.
Extra.
Since a lot of us like
Stab.
we didn't have a table.
Yeah. We can send you a graphic. We have one. I'll send you a graphic saying this is free science fiction. Of course, it's your table. I would expect you to try and get readers to your list.
Maybe next year.
But if someone says, horror or sci-fi or fantasy, I don't write fantasy, but if you want to read fantasy, that's an opportunity for us to grow us to help at minimal cost to you in regards to time and effort if you're there already. Here's a print it out. We got like you see the really cool logo that we had done. Ryan Schwartz did that for me. Did a really good job on the logo for the stars for the people. I mean,
That's what I was going to suggest, that we have something printable that people can constantly.
oh yeah, it was a standard PDF. Formatted for A4, formatted for 8.5 by 11. That's not what people use. And, oh, that we don't have any. You're like my baby. You're the only one here is A4 print. The format both ways, so you could print it and just throw it on a little stand at a time. Who in here writes urban fantasy? Who writes fantasy? Who writes SF? Black crossover, written multiple fantasy, urban fantasy. Good. You're in the right place. I want to help you try to sell more books. I'm over 500,000 SF books sold. Yeah.
We have that page up that we should do for the rave. For when we do the rave on Friday, do we have that sort of PDF that?
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I do not have it.
You still have 2 days.
But right.
Would you like me to create a QR code that someone
My graphic designer happens to be in here at present. Can you do
You
something
can
like that?
go to
No, you
QR.
can't print, you'd have to go to business center and print.
Yeah, you just go to QR and you can free on that.
I'm sorry.
QR monkey is the place you get your QR.
Well, I've got a QR. So I get a QR code, that's no problem. I know, but I did. We have that thrown together, it's not hard. I think that James has done all our graphics for the banners that you see for the newsletters. James, you can stand up.
I don't think I can realistically produce a full file for graphics for
Because you've got the IASFA logo, you've got stuff.
yeah, we've got that stuff, but it's still in my van, and I would have to sit in my van and talk to you all.
Okay, we're not going to have a graphic for it. But we'll work on it.
James, I can come sit with you.
You don't want me to do it. Even though I do have PowerPoint with me. No snorting. No snorting on PowerPoint. I made my first 3 codes in PowerPoint. I don't have in the author business,
About 5 minutes.
okay. In the author business, it's easy to get down. It's easy to look at your sales. It's easy to see turmoil and strife. But that's where we get to escape into our worlds and help the readers escape into our worlds too. What we're doing is a good thing. It's a good thing for posterity. It's a good thing for your legacy. I want to see everybody successful. Honestly, it matters to me that you guys help yourselves to your own legacy. Write a good story, put it in the right reader's hands. And when it comes to sci-fi and fantasy, we are lining those readers up. We have them. And we're building more, and there's a lot out there. You see that, like I said, I sold 500,000 copies so far and growing. I write science fiction. The science fiction readers are there. You make a full-time living off 1 book a year because the sci-fi readers are there. And you cut your expenses, how can you make it work with 1 book a year? You're under the 1 book a year. They're out there. And they're out there in good numbers. like expanding our reach to leaders at cons around the U.S. I think that's one of probably the biggest and best thing we can do for the absolute lowest cost. Because we build a graphic, you print it on your own printer, you put it in a little stand-up plastic thing that you got from Office Depot, and you put it on your table along with your stuff. And you just scan it. Join the list for 5 free books. The system works really well. Something else that James helped Rob McClellan, he maintains the website. And build our list. My goal is 20,000 names on the list. We kind of stagnated at 6,000, but I think we can bolster it pretty quickly with everybody participating and just adding a little bit. Everyone adds, we have over 700 members. We have 5 or 10 members. If you add 10 each, 7,000.
With the graphic on the link, you should just stick on our newsletter next time. All those people that all it does for you later is 6 months from now, you drop a little bit $25 for these. Copy this list then. And all it takes is everybody in this room, give them a link on the graphic, stick it in your next meeting.
And we owe a newsletter to the membership.
So immediately after the conference, if you want, I can make a media pack expressly for that purpose.
Yes, a graphic media pack for yes. Yeah, and there's a logo that you can show as IASFA member. It's cool. It's a logo. And we've got transparent PNG so you can put it where it doesn't cover stuff up. All right, I think we're about done. We recorded this, so you get to see my meandering. We're going to have some minutes. We do have some actions. I'll send that out. You haven't planned your year out. You know somebody who can help you. Plan, being ready for next year. And I owe everybody, here's the promos for next year, the promotion dates. So you can see what's going on. And then also, next newsletter will have a shift and let them know that, oh, by the way, come 2023, we're going to have free and 99-cent promotions. Free promotions at the kind of 10-11, but the 99-cent promo. Almost everybody has enough backlist to throw in that 99 cents on them. Because you're not just doing it for free. It's especially for why. Now it's really hard because Amazon might not match, and they've done that repeatedly to us. Where we check in the morning and it's free. As soon as people start downloading lots of copies, Amazon says, hey, look at this. And they jack it back to whatever the regular price was before they do the price match. And then we get angry letters from members. What I do in those cases is I gift them people there in the US. Okay, our mistake, we gift them and then immediately pull it off the promo. You don't want disappointed readers, manage reader expectations, keep them on the list, but it's more than that. All right, well, thank you very much for coming.